Here is the next chapter in our internal biography where the B-complex family takes center stage to manage the chaos of being alive. Life often feels like a dense textbook written in a language I studied for one semester in college and immediately forgot. I would stare at the pages of my day, meetings, errands, the vague concept of exercising, and the words would blur together in a gray soup of fatigue. I couldn't tell what was important. I needed to study, but my brain was dim. Enter riboflavin, the cosmic highlighter. Taking B2 is an illuminating experience, quite literally. It takes the dull gray paragraphs of my energy cycles and streaks them with neon yellow ink. Suddenly, the pathways light up. Focus here, riboflavin insists, underlining the mitochondrial function. This is on the test. It makes my energy legible again. And yes, it also turns my bathroom visits into a startling laser light show, but I choose to see that not as a side effect, but as a visual confirmation that my body is glowing from the inside out. I am radioactive with purpose. My metabolism is not a morning person. Left to its own devices, it would hit snooze until noon and show up to work wearing pajamas. It needed coffee, it needed a professional, it needed niacin. Niacin is the hipster barista of my biochemistry. He wears a flannel shirt, has a perfectly groomed mustache, and takes his job incredibly seriously. He doesn't just hand out energy, he crafts artisanal ATP shots. Here you go, he says, sliding a double espresso of vitality across the counter of my cells. Careful, it's hot. He isn't kidding. Sometimes niacin gets a little too enthusiastic and gives me the flush. My skin gets warm and tingly, like I'm blushing because my crush just walked in, or like I'm sitting too close to a fireplace. It's a rush of heat that says, we are awake, we are circulating, we are possibly a little too warm, but at least we aren't asleep. I love carbohydrates. I love them deeply. If I could marry a potato, we would have a beautiful, starchy wedding. But left unsupervised, my beloved carbs tend to just sit there. They settle into my system like a cat in a sunbeam, refusing to do any work. Thiamine is the motivational speaker I hired to yell at my lunch. He paces back and forth on the stage of my digestion, wearing a headset microphone. He points at the bagel I just ate. You, he shouts, are you just going to be dough, or are you going to be destiny? He turns to the rice bowl. Do not settle for the hips, go to the brain. Become the energy you were born to be. It's inspiring, honestly. Under his guidance, the lazy starch potatoes of my diet stand up, salute, and march off to power my afternoon emails. There are days when my hair feels less like a part of my body and more like a tenant that has stopped paying rent. It hangs there, limp and uninspired, dragging my whole mood down with it. My fingernails chip just to spite me. I didn't need a doctor, I needed a glam squad. Biotin swept in with a round brush in one hand and a bottle of expensive conditioner in the other. She is the personal stylist who calls everyone darling and actually means it. Oh, honey, no, she whispered to my split ends. We are doing a montage. She got to work on the keratin infrastructure. Now, when I walk down the street, I feel a phantom wind machine blowing through my hair. Even if I'm just walking to the mailbox to get a bill, biotin makes sure my follicles believe they are starring in a romantic comedy where the protagonist eventually opens a bakery. I have main character energy, one strand at a time. My stress levels used to look like a desk covered in loose papers, spilled coffee, and 3 weeping interns. My adrenal glands were running around with their hair on fire, screaming about deadlines. It was chaos. I needed management. Pantothenic acid is the project manager who walked in, clapped her hands once, and silenced the room. She carries a clipboard and an endless supply of color-coded sticky notes called coenzyme A. She walked up to my hyperventilating cortisol levels and said, "Let's circle back to why we are panicking." She organized the chaos into actionable items.